everybody. It's Thanksgiving time when we eat turkeys and we drink tons of brine. Indians and pilgrims, they all had a late lunch, eating lots of turkey and then other stuff like stuffing and cranberry jams. Later, Andrew Jacksin came in, killed a bunch of Indiens. He also conquered Florida, even though John Squinty Adams was about to sign a treaty, so Jacksin didn't really need to kill all those Indiens probably. But he didn't know because the mail was so slow. It's not like these days with cell phones and microwaves. Back then people had to kill Indiens if they wanted a new house. They couldn't just go to the bank. Times back then, they kinda stank. But that's what we learn about Thanksgiving, because there's a mystery of history. Yeah, it's the mystery of history, baby. I wonder if they ever done a mini-series on any part of history. That could be good to see. Pilgrims and Indians and happy Thanksgiving. That's the Pilgrims and Indians and happy Thanksgiving. That's the Pilgrims and Indians and happy Thanksgiving. Pilgrims and Indians and happy Thanksgiving. That's the Pilgrims and Indians and happy Thanksgiving. That's the Pilgrims and Indians and happy Thanksgiving. Pilgrims and Indians and happy Thanksgiving. That's the... Be listening while we talk about the beginning of history, which is really a mystery. But we do know one thing, which is that the Pilgrims and Indians ate a Thanksgiving turkey because we didn't want to have red meat, because there was a confusion. We didn't want the Native Americans thinking we were going to cannibalize them, and especially because they ate way more people than the Pilgrims did. At least that's what I heard on that one episode of King of the Hill. That episode was doper than a potato. Also, we ate a lot of corn, I'm pretty sure, on the first Thanksgiving. And afterwards, people jacked off to porn. But back then, porn was just watching two people have sex. And it sounded sort of like this. Bounce turkey, wow, wow. And that's why we celebrate Thanksgiving Day. Gobble like a turkey, gobble, gobble. Anyway, the Mayflower was named by this one guy whose life was named May, I think. And he wanted to honor her, at least that's what I made up. They landed on Plymouth Rock because it was shaped like a boating dock. And 44 settlers died because they didn't wear socks. An Indian with the Indian name came and he spoke the language of Americans. And we traded with him. And we also met his pal, Squanto. Or was it Sancho? I don't know, but he wore a really fancy poncho. And the Indians showed us about corn and other foods, and we got along really great because they were a bunch of cool dudes. There also wasn't any turkey, it was just a bunch of deer meat. Or maybe it was a bunch of eels. They argue about it in history. It lasted 3 days, and you couldn't move from your seat. It's even where you would sleep. Just like a buffet, it was all you could eat. But it was back when you, Squanto wanted to overthrow the other Indian chief, Pronto. And the chief told on him to the Pilgrim governor, and he was like, and the governor was like, "We love him, sir," because Squanto was the only guy who knew the English language, because he would taken it as a slave like 10 years before. He was washed on America's shores, and then a bunch of killing and stuff happened. Fast forward past Andrew Jacksin and all that stuff, and soon we're in the modern era with turkeys, beef jerky, and Indian reservations. And a pun about restaurants, because you make reservations at restaurants, you know what I mean? The history of Thanksgiving is totally fucking innocent. The guys who killed the Indians were killing guys. We weren't just killing guys they just had dinner with. They were conquering Boston for land, and the natives had stabbing knives, and they needed to end our lives, and that was war, and Thanksgiving dinner was fire. Man, it was fine, though, too. I wonder if they drank any wine. I wonder how long 3 days was back in those times. Plus, the tree that the Thanksgiving Plymouth Pilgrims made was honored, so its white signature guy has died inside a grave. And so there's no real reason for all this fucking Thanksgiving hate, you know what I fucking mean? It's like, it's actually a purely innocent holiday. The massacre was totally fucking unrelated. Fucking bullshit. Pilgrims and Indians and happy Thanksgiving. That's the Pilgrims and Indians and happy Thanksgiving. That's the Pilgrims and Indians. Time for the turkey solo. Heck, what's the heck? Why not I kazoo? I said Pilgrims and Indiens, happy Thanksgiving, baby. Pilgrims and Indiens, happy Thanksgiving. Pilgrims and Indiens, happy Thanksgiving, baby. Happy Thanksgiving. Cruise solo. Thanks for listening, man. Means a lot to me. Please leave a like and a comment. Heck, even give me a subscribe while you're at it. You know what I mean? Happy Thanksgiving. By the way, if you're new here, maybe you haven't heard my Columbus Day song, and so that will explain to you why I have this lisp that's in this song, but it's not in most of my songs, you see, because, well, you'll see when you listen to the song. Okay, I'll see you next time. Hopefully, please leave a subscribe if you really want to hear more of this, because I have a lot of more stuff to give you guys.